Love at First Flight, Episode 5. A lingering desire and a mother's joy. Bea couldn't shake the feeling. Even as she settled into the car with her mother fussing over her and her father talking about how much they had missed her, her thoughts were somewhere else entirely. They were on him. Rob, the man who had walked into her life by pure chance, stirring up feelings she hadn't felt in a very, very long time. She stole one final look through the car window, catching a glimpse of him on the other side of the terminal. He was being greeted by a group of men in sharp business suits, probably his colleagues, or the representatives from his host company. But despite the conversation swirling around him, he turned. For just a split second, their eyes met again across the bustling airport. A silent message seemed to pass between them. A connection. A deep yearning. And then, just like that, he was gone, swallowed by the crowd. Bea let out a slow breath, forcing herself to focus on the present moment, on the warmth of home and the love of her family waiting for her. Her mother gently touched her hand, her voice soft with concern. "You're quiet, Anak. Are you okay?" Bea managed a smile, trying to push Rob from her mind. "Just taking it all in, Mama." Her father chuckled from the driver's seat. "Well, take it all in a bit faster. Your mother has been cooking for days, waiting for you. There's adobo, sinigang, and your absolute favorite, lech flan." At the mention of her favorite dishes, Bea's stomach rumbled. She had missed this so much. The familiar, mouth-watering aroma of home-cooked Filipino food, the comforting chatter of her loved ones. It was a balm to her soul. But she knew that nothing, absolutely nothing, could compare to what she was about to see next. Her son. As they embarked on the long drive home, Bea gazed out of the car window, watching the familiar landscapes of her homeland unfold before her eyes. The green rice paddies, the bustling towns, the vibrant colors. It all felt like a dream. Her mother, seated beside her, reached over and gave her hand a gentle squeeze. "Anak," her mother began softly, her voice filled with a mix of love and worry. "We've missed you so much. How was your time in Saudi Arabia? Were you treated well?" Bea offered a small, reassuring smile, her mind flashing back to the opulent household she had served. "I was fortunate, Mama. My employers were kind, especially the Duchess. She was wonderful. She made sure I was comfortable and often treated me like I was part of the family." Her father, his eyes focused on the road ahead, chimed in, his voice a low rumble. "That's a huge relief to hear. We've heard so many stories from others who faced hardships." Bea nodded, her expression turning a little more pensive. "Yes, I was aware of those stories. I know I was one of the lucky ones. The Duchess would give me gifts, sometimes even luxury items, and she always made sure I had food that I liked, food that reminded me of home." Her mother tilted her head, her intuition sensing there was more to the story. "But something's bothering you, isn't it? I can see it in your eyes." Bea sighed, choosing her words carefully. She didn't want to worry them too much, but she also needed to be honest. "It was the Sheikh, Mama. He was generous, but his attention sometimes felt a little too personal. He'd give me gifts and special treats separately from the Duchess. It made me uneasy." Her mother's grip on her hand tightened. "Did he ever—" Her voice trailed off, unable to finish the question. "No," Bea interjected quickly, shaking her head. "No, nothing like that. But the situation felt inappropriate. I remember one evening he knocked on my door late at night asking to come in. I refused, of course. My heart was pounding. I stepped outside into the hallway instead, hoping that others would see us and prevent any misunderstandings. He didn't insist, but the encounter left me shaken." Her father glanced at her through the rearview mirror, his face etched with concern. "Is that why you decided not to go back? Why you ended your contract?" Bea nodded slowly. "I couldn't stay in a situation where I felt compromised, even if nothing technically happened. It wouldn't have been right. My self-respect is more important." Her mother sighed, a sound mixed with relief and worry. "We're so proud of you for making that difficult decision. Your integrity means more than any job in the world." Bea leaned her head against the cool glass of the window, watching the scenery blur past. "I just hope I can find work here at home now. I need to be able to provide for my son." Her father reached over from the front seat, patting her knee reassuringly. "We'll figure it out together. The most important thing is that you're home now, safe with us. That's what matters." The rest of the journey was filled with lighter stories and laughter. Bea recounted funny moments from her time abroad, shared anecdotes about the cultural differences, and felt the weight on her shoulders begin to lift. She was home. She was surrounded by family. And soon, she would be holding her son in her arms. The car finally pulled into the familiar driveway. Before she could even unbuckle her seatbelt, the front door burst open. A small figure, a whirlwind of energy, came sprinting out, his little legs pumping as fast as they could carry him. "Mama! Mama!" Bea's heart exploded with joy. "Leo!" She scrambled out of the car, and in an instant, her son was in her arms. She buried her face in his hair, inhaling his sweet, familiar scent. He was bigger, taller than she remembered from their video calls. He wrapped his arms tightly around her neck, and in that moment, all the sacrifices, all the lonely nights, all the worries, they all just melted away. This was what she had worked for. This was why she had endured everything. This was home. Her parents watched from the doorway, their faces beaming with happiness. Later that evening, after a feast that lived up to all her father's promises, Bea sat on the porch with Leo nestled in her lap. He chattered away, telling her about school, his friends, and a new stray cat he had befriended. As the days turned into weeks, Bea settled back into the rhythm of life in the Philippines. The initial joy of her homecoming was slowly replaced by the practical need to find a job. She sent out applications, went to interviews, and faced the harsh reality of a competitive job market. Her savings from abroad were dwindling faster than she had anticipated. One afternoon, while scrolling through job listings on her phone, an ad caught her eye. It wasn't for a typical office job. A new luxury resort was opening nearby, and they were looking for an experienced hospitality manager. The pay was excellent, far more than she had expected to find locally. It seemed almost too good to be true, but something about it felt right. Her experience working in the Sheikh's opulent household, managing staff and events, had given her a unique set of skills. She took a deep breath and sent in her application, not really expecting to hear back. To her surprise, she got a call the very next day inviting her for an interview. When she arrived at the resort's temporary office, she was impressed. The plans were ambitious, aiming to create a world-class destination. The final interview was with the project's lead investor, the man whose vision was driving the entire development. As she was ushered into his office, her heart stopped. Sitting behind the large mahogany desk, his back initially to her as he looked over some blueprints, was a man she never thought she'd see again. He turned around, and his eyes widened in shock. It was Rob. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The air crackled with a tension that was both awkward and electric. It was Rob who broke the silence, a slow, incredulous smile spreading across his face. "Bea? Is that really you?" Bea could only nod, her voice caught in her throat. "Rob. What are you doing here?" He stood up, walking around the desk towards her. "This is my project. I'm building this resort." "What are you doing here?" I applied for the hospitality manager position," she stammered, feeling completely thrown off balance. Rob laughed, a warm, genuine sound that made her heart flutter. "Of all the people in the world, I can't believe it." He paused, his expression turning serious. "I never forgot you, Bea. After I saw you at the airport, I tried to find you, but I had no information, not even your last name." "I thought about you too," she admitted, her voice barely a whisper. The formal interview was quickly forgotten. They talked for hours, catching up on everything. Rob explained that his family's company was expanding into Asia, and this resort was his passion project. Bea told him about her son, her reasons for coming home, and her search for a job that would allow her to stay. Rob looked at her, his gaze intense. "Bea, the job is yours, if you want it. Your experience is perfect. But more than that, I feel like fate has given us a second chance. I don't want to let it slip away this time." Bea's mind was racing. Was this real? Could this be happening? It felt like a scene from a movie, but looking into Rob's sincere eyes, she knew it was real. She thought of her son, of the stability this job would provide, and of the undeniable connection she felt with the man standing in front of her. She took a deep breath and smiled, a real, radiant smile this time. "I accept the job and the second chance." A few months later, Bea was not just the resort's manager. She was thriving. She was brilliant at her job, her natural grace and experience making the resort's pre-opening phase a resounding success. She and Rob worked closely together, their professional relationship slowly and beautifully blossoming into something more. They took things slow, mindful of their responsibilities, and for Bea, mindful of her son. Leo adored Rob. He saw him not as an intruder, but as a fun new friend who took him fishing and helped him with his homework. Seeing the two most important men in her life get along so well filled Bea's heart with a warmth she had never known. One evening, as the sun set over the nearly completed resort, casting a golden glow over the ocean, Rob took Bea's hand. "Bea," he said, his voice soft, "I know we've been taking things slow, and I respect that. But I also know that I love you. I love you, and I love Leo. I want to build a life with you right here. I don't just want you to manage this resort. I want you to build this home with me." Tears of joy welled up in Bea's eyes. The journey had been long and filled with uncertainty. She had left her home to provide for her son, faced discomfort and difficult choices, and returned with a heavy heart, worried about the future. But now, everything had fallen into place in a way she could never have imagined. She had found not just a job, but a career, not just a home, but a family, and not just a fleeting connection, but a deep and lasting love. She looked at Rob, the man who had walked into her life by chance and stayed by choice. "Yes," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "Yes, I'll build this home with you." Thank you so much for watching our story today. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new video. We love sharing these stories with you and can't wait to see you in the next one.